Alright guys, welcome to this video. I'm creating a game purely made out of Unity. So there's nothing, I'm not using assets from anywhere else. I won't even really use assets from the asset store unless I want to do some sound stuff because I'm not really a sound artist and you can't really design sounds within Unity, so that was something I'd have to use outside of it. But this game I plan to make completely in Unity, so everything you will see will be made in Unity. Now if you look in the background behind this project, you would see this thing called Fruit Farm. This is up in the corner. And this project isn't. It was something I was working on a minute ago. I was just kind of messing with it to see some stuff, but this isn't the project. The project I want to do is actually going to be created in this one. So this one I'm going to create it, so you guys can watch me build it from nothing, absolutely nothing. So let's. Here it is. Let me actually change it to a 5. I think it's just too far off. So then I'll grab it, put it on the player, and then zero all of its positions out. Oh, dang it. No. I thought I selected the terrain. Terrain I want to go on the player. And then I want 0, 0, and 0, and then I could zoom to it. Here it is. Okay. So now I can adjust it properly. Okay. Yeah, that's about the right size. Maybe a little bit too big. But like I said, once again, we won't worry about that for this moment. And then that also means I may be able to paint the trees on. But let's look at painting the terrain first of all. Edit, add texture, select texture. I don't have a 2D texture, so I'm gonna. Can I create a texture? Create. Render texture. Is that? Some material. I just want to see something real quick. I don't know why I did that, but let's go to terrain. Is that even a texture? No, it isn't a texture. So I actually have to create the texture outside of this guy. I don't know if you can create it. Can you create a texture inside of Unity? Shader, material, render texture, isn't it? Light map, sprites. Okay, so I'm gonna probably have to create this texture outside of Unity. So, back in a sec. Okay, so I'm back. So as you can tell there's 4 little textures, and just to prove to you, these weren't made in any fancy program. They were made in Paint. I just went in Paint, slapped some textures, just to ensure that I'm keeping close to my promise, because, I mean, I can't keep all my promises, but let's add a texture, add the grass texture, and click. Yeah, okay. Let's add another texture. Let's add texture, let's add a dirt texture, add texture, and then add a rock texture. And just for the moment, I'm going to shut these trees off, because I think I may actually try to mass splice them. So I could paint them on the terrain, and then I may actually try to create a mount. So I'm going to click on this mount, and shut it off. Okay, so, let's grab this dirt texture. Can I paint this on? Oh, it's got its opacity's all the way down. And target string. Yay! And so that way I can Control Z those off. But let me just make this big dirt patch. No, I don't like that. I turned down my brush size, and this is paint some weird looking stuff over here. Okay. So now everything got these weird little dirt patches. Looks like a baseball field. And then I want to go to sculpting and then see what I can sculpt. So this doesn't, like I said, this game isn't targeted to just be okay. Yay. What does that look like? Looks terrible, that's what it looks like. Let me go opacity. I'm covered. Let me try just creating one mountain range. I'll just circle the entire. map. There we go. And then I'm going to go into, see if I can alter these textures just a little bit. No, because that makes them, I want to try to make them look as, I want them to not, yeah, they look less. Let's go smooth. See, because if I could smooth them a little bit, just add that little bit of less. Turn the opacity of the smoothing on. I'm just going to smooth everything out because first thing, this game isn't meant to be, because of the way I'm designing it, I don't want it to be super high textured. So let's kind of remove a huge texture fill to these mountains here. There we go. Now everything's kind of feeling boring. And let's go to the paintbrush real fast, grab this rock texture, and just turn up the target strength, and just cover this entire mountain. I will repaint some of the ground to ensure that it doesn't look so bad. Okay. Now let's grab some of this grass. Yeah, of course it's going to bounce that mountain because I didn't turn my brush size down. I'll just leave it for now. It's just trying to get rid of this weird little lip. Okay. See what it looks like from this view. Ugh. Okay. That's fine with me. Now let's paint in some trees. Edit to add tree. Select game object. Tree. What would happen if I try to place these trees? Will they actually place? Brush size needs to get way down. Could be interesting because the preview contains a mesh renderer. Contains no valid mesh renderer. It's probably because they're under. Click on prefabs, trees. I don't know. Okay, so it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to add them because they're not going to have a mesh render on them themselves. So I'm just going to remove that component, put back on my trees, and then I'll just... Which kind of sucks because it kind of makes them a little more weighty, but, you know, we'll deal with it. There we go. I think that looks good. Okay. Okay, so now let's see if I can at least paint some grass on the terrain, which I'm going to want to create a new material for that, but let me see if it's going to require me to have a texture. Let's go terrain. I can't remember when you go to paint grass, add grass texture, so it is going to be a texture. And I'm going to want them to be blocks, so I'm just going to go in and... Okay, so I'm just going to add in that texture. Go into scene, brush size, target strength, blah blah blah. I just want to see what that looks like. It just looks like a big mesh of wall. It's terrible. Okay, so let me Control Z that out. Just look and see if I can, if I turn down my target strength, would it? No. So what I need to do is I need to click edit, edit texture. Click on width. Turn the width down crazily. Target strength of 0.05. Okay. It's probably going to be extremely tall. Okay, let me just shrink it down. Edit, remove, and then let me just edit back in. Guys, it's probably not the perfect texture to be using for this. I'll go 0.1, 0.1, max height to like 0.4, 0.4. Tons of grass. Okay. Needs to be a little bit short. Can I still edit the height from here? Oh, I can't. It's so bad. Edit. Let me go width to like 0.05. 0.01. Okay. That doesn't look as terrible. Okay. Oh, but those I need to change the max width to like 0. No, to like 0.01, 0.04, 0.03. Okay, apply. Okay, here we go. And now, I don't need the mountain because this mountain looks terrible, so we'll just delete that mountain. File say scene, because now we got a little project. Now I just want to add a little bit more of decoration, maybe some rocks, you know, stuff like that. So I'm going to go create 3D object, sphere, and find out where the sphere is. No, Control Z. It needs to be completely zeroed out. Here it is. I didn't completely zero it out, but you know what I mean. Let's pick it up. Just be a big giant boulder. No! Let's make it like 0.4, 0.4, and 0.4. We did a little bit, you know, a little bit different. We can make it like 0.7. And then add, go to materials. Probably add the mountain texture. On it and call it rock, and then I think I may expand it here just a tad. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna add a rigid body to it. Rigid body. Allowed to use gravity. And then I need to find its sphere collider. Okay, never mind. But now let's grab the throw it in as a prefab. Go up here. And then click on the player real quick. Hit apply so maybe he'll change in there. And he does. Okay. Let's click on the rock. Click duplicate. Pull him over here. Duplicate. Pull him over here. Duplicate. You can even do designs with them, so I could stack them. I may even add a pickup script so you could stack the rocks. Not sure what this game's gonna be. Not exactly sure. I mean, that's something we can all decide together, because overall this game's kind of just a random mesh of everything you could ever want it to be. I will post it on GameJolt. Eventually it will get posted on GameJolt. I may even actually post this version on GameJolt, just so you guys can kind of test it with me, and you guys can play the game with me as I build it. Maybe even add multiplayer. I kind of want to create just the most random game you could ever really feel like playing. See that rock over there? It should fall. Now the question will rely around why didn't it fall? Oh, because... yes, that makes me feel stupid. I need to click on the rocks collider. Now let me pull this out into the scene. Zoom in on this rock specifically. Lift it up. I need to move this up just a tad. Decrease its radius. Could I add a new collider? Could I add like... what if I added a new sphere collider? No, let me add like a capsule collider. Maybe a capsule collider would do it better. Remove components. Remove component. Remove component. I'm gonna add I'm just gonna add a mesh collider. They're a little bit heavier on the system, which is not good, but I want it to feel as possible. Mesh collider with non-kinematic is no longer supported. With non-kinematic, let's see if I increase its radius. Okay, so now this one should work just a touch better than my last one did. Okay, so now let's apply it and see what happens. And see if they all, yes, and they finally kindly fall to the ground in these big pebbles that you can roll around. So, this is just full of beauty. Okay, so now we got this nice terrain, we got some rocks chilling around here. Maybe I could even create some rock piles, because look at all these nice little rocks, yeah! And you can jump up the tree. No, you really can't. Yeah, I mean, you can, but anyways, it doesn't matter. There is no colliders on the edge of the map, so you can fall for eternity and die. But this is the beginning of a rock eternally tumbling because it has no collider on it. Look at this bouncing. Like, goodbye. Okay, so let's do one last thing before I cut this video. Let's go rocks. Oh, and I misspelled it. I look such an idiot, and that almost looked like a not such a good word. Let's pull this down, close it up. I think actually the last thing I want to do, I don't know, no, because, no, I won't do that for now. I'll wait on that. I may actually have to get in the sky from the Asset Store, but that is all for this video. This is just a quick startup of this game. I will probably post it to GameJolt so you guys can download it and test it. I like this. There's not much to it, but I'm hoping you guys will be happy to follow me along with the development of this game. I mean, because I'm just going to create a game purely made in Unity. I mean, there are some aspects that won't, because, you know, Unity has only so many attributes, so you will have to create some textures maybe, but I'm going to use basic programs like Paint and stuff to ensure that I'm not using this advanced, and I'm not really getting in to be able to texture a whole lot. But, you know, guys, here it is so far. This is kind of the rough setup, and I won't be doing any development of it without recording it and posting it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you guys next time, and hope you guys will enjoy and see more.